I miss my little singing partner today. Remembering last week. You know who you are. Miss ya and thankful for ya. Love to you, brother. So this will be a boring Sunday sermon in contrast to last week's. Or silly, last week's silly version, whatever. Hey, speaking of boring, what about prayer? Why don't we want to pray? Because prayer feels so boring at times. And I'm coming to understand prayer in a new way that's helping me a little bit to see it as exciting rather than boring. So you know those passages. Set your mind on things above, Colossians 3:2, Matthew 6:33. Seek first God, and everything else will be added. So when I pray, what do I usually pray for? What do we usually pray for? We pray for all the physical things, for this physical journey that we think is the real journey that we're on. But that seems to make my prayers boring and ineffective and not exciting at all. And I heard a story recently of God's glasses. There was a woman who died. She had a near-death experience, NDE. And 3, 2, 1, the film counted down, and she saw her whole life review. And she saw her achievements and accomplishments and awards and rewards and all that of her physical journey. And then the film stopped. And then she was given these other glasses to put on, and they were the perfect fit, the perfect size, and they were God's glasses. And she put those glasses on, 3, 2, 1, the film started again, and she saw her life again with what matters to God. And none of what was on that second reel was on the first one. None of her achievements, her physical journey, her rewards, all her accomplishments in her life weren't on that one. It was the little things, acts, thoughts, words, behaviors, actions of love were on this other film. That was all that mattered. That was the most important. It was the spiritual things that mattered most. So, I love that story. I love those experiences. So, to experience prayer as not boring, I need to not pray for the physical on the physical journey, but the spiritual on the spiritual journey. And I think that's what Matthew 6:33 is getting at. Seek first God. Pray the spiritual things. Colossians 3:2, set your mind on things above. Pray that stuff. Pray with God's glasses on for what really matters. And that's the spiritual. Forgiveness, grace, to help others, to hear God's voice, to experience peace, to experience true vision and perception, to know our true identity, to know God's identity, to know and have the truth, to experience more of God. That's beautiful. Not praying for grandma's goiter or bad hip, which is incredibly boring to pray for, but bathing her in that kind of prayer, that she would see and experience God's love, light, healing presence, know her true identity, more of God. You see the shift? You feel the shift? So we don't have to beg for stuff on our physical journeys that really don't matter all that much because we're really on a spiritual journey. We don't have to beg for stuff in the physical. When we're in alignment with God, seeking God first, more of God and God's kingdom, the spiritual world, then everything else I think I need will fall into place. It will come. So pray for God's love more, the spiritual. Praying to experience more of God's love and to extend more of God's love and practicing doing that everywhere all the time. And trust that what I need then in the physical will be taken care of, no sweat. So I'll let the physical cares go into God's hands, surrendering all that stuff, the minor details that don't feel so minor sometimes, but they really are. Because we're not these just physical beings, we're these spiritual beings having a human experience, huh? God's going to take care of us. So let my cares go into God's hands. I surrender, I trust, that God will take care of those things. And I pray and ask to experience the real things. And I send that and ask that for others as well. The higher things, the spiritual things, the real things. Praying with physical glasses on for the physical journey is boring. Praying for the spiritual with spiritual glasses on, getting in touch with that really real world, isn't boring. And then I pray with expectation. There's adventure in it. There's confidence. There's trust. There's magic. There's a miracle. Oh. As Tennyson said, more things are wrought by prayer than you and I could ever imagine. Yeah. So, set your mind on things above. Seek first God, and everything else will be added. God, thank you for this insight and intuition and truth to live spiritually, pray spiritually. And thank you for your promises and presence in and through it all. Take what's helpful, leave the rest. Until next time, may you live all the days of your life.